Hey guys, welcome back to Our Maine Homestead. Today I wanted to show you my process for making dandelion jelly. This is the first try ever doing it, but I'm following a good recipe and just wanted to take you guys along to show you what it's like. Today I've been collecting some dandelions because I'm going to be making some dandelion jelly. I've never made it before, so it's definitely a first time for me. Hopefully it turns out okay. I'm following a good recipe from Ashley Audemont, but I'm also wearing my head net right now because black flies and mosquitoes are a mess around here this time of year. But today was a good day to go picking dandelions because it's a little bit cooler temperatures and there's a nice breeze, so the bugs are at a minimum, but with my head net and a little bit of bug spray should be fine anyways. But I've picked basically a whole colander full. I need about 8 cups of whole kind of flower heads to see if I can separate these and make about 4 cups of fluffy dandelion petals for my first step of the dandelion jelly. So yesterday I peeled off all of the dandelion petals that I needed and actually filled up 2 quart jars with fluffy petals all the way from the bottom to the top, and then went ahead and boiled some water and basically filled up the entire quart jar here so that it could steep for about 24 hours and make a dandelion tea. So now I'm about to strain out the petals and get to work on taking care of the baby and then taking care of dandelion jelly. Okay, so the dandelion jelly is all made. I added a little less than 2/3 of a cup of Dutch jelly that we just bought at the local Amish store, and then about 3.5 teaspoons of citric acid. So I brought all of that to a boil, and then I added my sugar. Now the recipe actually calls for almost 8 cups of sugar, but we don't really like things that sweet, and definitely try to make all of our recipes as low sodium and low sugar as possible. So I actually only added 2 cups of sugar for the whole batch. So hopefully it won't be too sweet, but it'll be sweet enough that it gives it that honey flavor that I've heard it tastes like. So went ahead and added the sugar and then brought it back up to a boil and let that boil for about, or kind of simmer boil for about 2 minutes. I took it off the heat. Now I've got all of my jars sterilizing. So my jars and my seals, because whatever jars actually get full, I'm gonna can and preserve. And then any partial jars or jar, I will stick straight into the refrigerator, and then that needs to sit in the fridge for about 12 hours before it is ready to be taste tested. That 12 hours gives it time to set and turn into jelly. So I'm about to get my jars out of the sterilizing boiling water so that I can go ahead and start ladling in the dandelion jelly. Now I'm using pint jars because those are actually the smallest jars that I have on hand at the moment. Okay, so I went ahead and actually filled up 4 pint jars because it ended up just fitting perfectly into 4 pint jars. So I'm going to go ahead and can all 4 of those. That way we don't have any that is just sitting in the refrigerator hanging out while we're actually finishing up some raspberry jam that we have. So once we get done with our raspberry jam, I'll open up one of those dandelion jellies and we'll do kind of an official taste test, and I'll let you guys know how it tastes. So stay tuned. So yesterday I made the jelly and went ahead and canned all 4 jars. All of the lids have sealed properly, so I have tightened up the rings, and I'm still waiting on it to solidify. It's not quite gelled yet. After speaking to some fellow homesteader friends on Instagram, I was told that it could even take up to 2 days for it to solidify, or not solidify, to gel. So I may go ahead and stick these actually in the refrigerator to see if that might help speed up the process for the gelling. Otherwise, if it's an issue like I didn't add enough sugar or anything like that, then if it stays a liquid, we're still going to use this. So we may just use it as a sweetener or a substitute for sweeteners in recipes and things like that. A lot of, recipes call for maple syrup as a sweetener, things like that. So it'll still get used one way or the other. I do hope that it turns into jelly though, because I'm excited to try it on some toast and yeah, and just see if it does have that honey flavor like I've been told that it does. So we'll keep an eye on this. It's been a little less than 24 hours since we made the jelly and canned it. And like I said, so since it's still kind of liquidy, I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in the fridge and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I'm back with the results of the dandelion jelly. It's been several weeks since I made it, and as you can see, it never did gel. So, although this was a very, very fun, new, exciting project to try, just like some things on the homestead, it doesn't turn out exactly like you think it's going to. So, I'm going to try to figure out what else I can use this for so that it doesn't all just go to waste, because I do have 4 pint jars of this. And I guess the lesson here is just to follow the recipe and don't try to veer off and do your own thing. So, next time I try this next year, I will probably go ahead and add all of the sugar that the recipe calls for, because I'm sure that that was probably the issue with why the pectin never allowed it to set. So yeah, so we'll try again another year. It was, like I said, a fun project, and if you enjoyed watching this, just give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to follow us over on Instagram at Our Maine Homestead just to see daily story updates.